Alright, this next thing that I'm going to show you is the cast off. When you have finished knitting or purling whatever it is that you're making and you want to get it off the needle permanently, you do cast off. So here's a few rows of garter stitch, and it's as if I'm about to start knitting again. It starts just like a knit. So you'll go through the top loop here, just like if you were knitting. Oop, there we go. Take the long string counterclockwise around the needle. And what you'll need to start with are 2 loops. So I just did one. And here's my second one. Now when I have 2 loops, what you're going to do is take this left needle, kind of go backwards. So instead of going right to left, you're going left to right through this needle. What you're doing is pulling one of these loops over the other one. So I have this going through the needle here, and you might want to use a little finger or something to hold the second loop in place, because what I'm going to do is take it over it. And be careful that the second loop doesn't fall off, and then you'll have one. And you do the next one. So you'll do another knit, because you need 2 loops. So I have 2 loops now. You take this second loop here and pull it over. You might need to pull it a little loose too, just to make it easier. You'll end up with 1. And you just keep going. Knit 1. So you'll end up with 2 loops. Grab this loop. Pull it over. If you've ever done anything with a loom, this is very similar. I used to make pot holders. And this is essentially what you would do. At the end, you would just pull one loop over the other loop until you got all the way around. Oop, that didn't quite go. This is a little hard to do over the camera, so sorry. So let me finish this up. Careful that you don't do this too tightly, because it'll end up on whatever you knit, one end will be nice and loose where you started the cast on, and then the cast off end will be kind of tapered a little bit because you went too tight. Got 3 more to go. Oop, fraying a thread. There we go. Very loose right there. If it gets that loose, you can just pull the yarn a little bit to tighten it up. Okay, I did something a little hokey there. There we go. Pulled it a few times. And when you get to the end, you're on your final 2 loops. Get that one left. So you'll have it all off the needle except 1 loop. Then you'll loosen up this loop. Make it real big. Make sure you have it in your fingers before you take it off the needle. But have this loop, and then you take the long thread that's still connected to the ball of yarn, put it through the loop, and then you can pull the string to tighten it. And from there, you can just cut this. I don't have my scissors. Of course I don't have my scissors. Give me 1 second to get some scissors. Okay. So I cut that piece off. And let's see here. And you can remove the part that's still attached to the big ball of yarn. You'll just have this piece. And the end of your work will have 2 pieces at the end. And then you can take these, and you'll need to get a darning needle, which is sort of a big sewing needle. And what you'll do is just sort of sew it in. I'll have to do a separate video for that if you need one. But you'll just take it, you can do this by hand too. Go a few, loop it in this way and come back. Do it on both sides. You can shorten these a little because this is a little big. You don't want to sew that whole thing in. But you'd sew them in and then cut off the ends. And you're done. So that is cast off.